The Witcher 3 is an action role-playing game with a third-person perspective. Players control Geralt of Rivia, a monster slayer known as a Witcher. Geralt walks, runs, rolls and dodges, and for the first time in the series jumps, climbs and swims. He has a variety of weapons, including bombs, a crossbow and 2 swords, 1 steel and 1 silver. The steel sword is used primarily to kill humans, while the silver sword is more effective against creatures and monsters. Players can draw out, switch and sheath their swords at will. There are 2 modes of melee attack. Light attacks are fast but weak, and heavy attacks are slow but strong. Players can block and counter enemy attacks with their swords. Swords have limited endurance and require regular repair. In addition to physical attacks, Geralt has 5 magical signs at his disposal: Aud, Axii, Igni, Erden and Quen. Aud prompts Geralt to unleash a telekinetic blast, Axii confuses enemies, Igni burns them, Erden slows them down and Quen offers players a temporary, protective shield. The signs use stamina and cannot be used indefinitely. Players can use mutagens to increase Geralt's magic power. Geralt loses health when attacked by enemies, although wearing armor can help reduce health loss. Health is restored with meditation or consumables, such as food and potions. Players occasionally control Ciri, Geralt's adoptive daughter who can teleport short distances. Mount Blade II Bannerlord is a strategy, action role-playing game. The fundamental gameplay premise is the same as previous entries in the series. The player builds up a party of soldiers and performs quests on an overhead campaign map, with battles being played out on battlefields that allow the player to personally engage in combat alongside their troops. Bannerlord, however, includes significant improvements to numerous elements of gameplay. Sieges in Bannerlord are intended to be more strategic than they were in Warband. The player may construct a variety of different siege engines and strategically position them before the battle begins in order to target certain sections of the enemy fortifications. Kingdom Come: Deliverance E is an open-world action role-playing game in which the protagonist is controlled from a first-person perspective. Once again, tasks or missions can be handled in different ways. Ultimately, the decisions of the player affect the character development and the life of the hero itself. One aspect of the gameplay is the life simulation, as in the predecessor. The hero needs regular sleep and food. In contrast to the first part, Kingdom Come: Deliverance E features crossbows and early forms of firearms. The former can also be fired while riding. Synopsis: as in the predecessor, the protagonist is the blacksmith Henry from Skalitz, who lives in central Bohemia during the Middle Ages, in the early 15th century. According to the game description, Kingdom Come: Deliverance E takes place in the turmoil of a civil war, and Henry will fight against Holy Roman Emperor Sigismund and his allies. Dragon's Dogma 2 is an action role-playing game played from a third-person perspective. The player takes on the role of a character called Urizen, a hero marked by a dragon whom they must defeat. The player explores the world they live in, taking on quests and fighting monsters, while being caught up in a geopolitical conflict between 2 kingdoms. To assist in this, the Urizen relies on allies called pawns, non-playable characters who join the player's party. These characters are eye-controlled, but function like player-controlled avatars, able to assist in fights, provide information on enemies, and give guidance to active quests. Players can each create and customize their avatar and their own pawn character, with different genders, appearances, and race. In addition, players can recruit to additional pawns that have been created by other players. Both Urizen and Pawns each operate under a vocation, a class that defines what abilities and equipment they can use in combat, with different strengths and weaknesses. New hybrid vocations are included, including Mystic Spearhand, a variation of Mystic Knight, with characters able to utilize a bladed quarterstaff-like weapon called a duo spear, and the Trickster, who uses spells that can confuse enemies and enhance pawns in battle. Working with vocations improves them, unlocking additional abilities that can be acquired for use in combat. Manor Lords is a city-building game which includes real-time tactical warfare. The game can also be considered a colony simulation. There are 3 different modes in Manor Lords, titled Rise to Prosperity, Restoring the Peace, and On the Edge. They are differentiated by the aspects they focus on, Rise to Prosperity, and On the Edge respectively emphasizes growth through city building and conquest through warfare, while Restoring the Peace gives a more balanced experience. The game offers a degree of customizability. Players are able to adjust in-game values, such as starting position and off-map threats, according to the developer. The game aims to provide organic city building. The roads are almost always curved, and houses can be built without the interference of fixed or handmade zoning grids found in SimCity and Skylines games. Blight Survival is a medieval cooperative extraction like pitting you and up to 3 other players against mortals and monsters in a desperate attempt to reach and destroy the source of the Blight, a deadly affliction that plagues the land. The game takes place in the no man's land between 2 desperate kingdoms in a ceaseless war. Within this purgatory, a new strain of Blight has erupted from remains of the fallen, fed and strengthened by the blood that has been spilled. It rapidly spreads, turning man into monster. As the people bleed, paralyzed by war, they have turned to you and your kin, being the only ones willing. You've been tasked to venture forth and vanquish the all-consuming Blight. Chrono Odyssey is an open-world MMORPG where time dictates destiny, and we are committed to integrating all the core elements showcased in the trailer into the game. Players will be able to experience exhilarating battles with colossal bosses, adventures that utilize the Chronotector, a device that manipulates time and space, complex characters, and innovative storytelling. Chrono Odyssey, a next-generation action MMORPG game, features include awe-inspiring visuals powered by Unreal Engine 5, a vast and intricately designed seamless open world, dynamic action-based combat mechanics based on time manipulation and extensive customization. Seamless open world, a seamless and unrestricted exploration of any terrain, is authored by Chrono Odyssey thanks to its open world concept. It also features many different biomes, including grasslands, snowlands, swamps, and more. The adventure through the world of Chrono Odyssey offers much to explore. Baldur's Gate 3 is a role-playing video game with single-player and cooperative multiplayer elements. Players can create one or more characters and form a party, along with a number of pre-generated characters to explore the game's story. Optionally, players are able to take one of their characters and team up online with other players to form a party. The game implements a flexible quest system with various approaches to resolving most quests. Players can eliminate almost any non-player character, regardless of their importance to the storyline, yet still continue to advance through the game. The game is divided into 3 acts, each taking place in a distinct region of the world. Within these acts, the game adopts a non-linear format, permitting players to tackle quests in virtually any sequence.